And, even places like the NBA, we announced a partnership with
Yeah,
the
all the
NBA.
NBAs have Oura rings. I saw that in the bubble.
Yeah, WNBA as well.
What was that able to do for them? They just knew people's temperatures?
No, well, I mean, look, I think with all these tests, even if people are getting tested every day like they were in both the NBA, WNBA, and some of these other sports leagues, right? There's false positives, there's false negatives. And again, you could see from this data if you're getting sick even before you feel symptoms. So I think it gave people a sense of security. If there's false positives, false negatives, you have another set of data to look at, which is super helpful. And frankly, like most organizations can't afford to test every day. You couldn't even get tests in the beginning, right?
It was ridiculous. I mean, that was, I think, for me, one of the biggest tragedies is I had friends who were getting tests from Taiwan, Hong Kong, Finland, other countries, and had at-home testing kits that cost $20 each that were probably marked up triple because they were being brought in here. And our FDA, for some reason, the FDA in the United States or whatever forces did not allow mass testing at home to occur because it wasn't perfect. And it's like, it doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be directionally correct so that if you do have a positive, you go get the more perfect test. Yeah. It's just ridiculous how poorly.
And look, I think it is a hard science, right? Flus adapt. We're seeing variations right now. I think even the latest Indian, version that's going through there, some of the mutations there looks like, not the vaccines aren't having as high effectiveness as they would with some other strains. And that's how these flus evolve, right? They keep evolving. And so I for us, as frustrating obviously as it is, we just thought about how can we help. And so I think being able to be, forward there, working with, honestly, frontline healthcare workers was the first group of the TempRedict study. We, actually donated 2,000 rings and had a sponsor come in to donate another 1,000 rings to frontline healthcare workers, that are out there in the hospitals across the U.S. to be able to do the study to then deploy a product and serve different organizations. But, so we talked, the NBA gets a lot of publicity. What didn't was Las Vegas Sands. So we announced, casino workers going back to work, right? They don't want to be laid off, so the Sands group was like, hey, we got to help reopen Vegas, because otherwise we're going to have zero revenue and lay people off. And so, but they couldn't afford to test every day, right? Every single person. And so, using our data, they're able to prioritize testing to the right folks. Or if someone looked like they're getting sick, hey, maybe you shouldn't come in today. We actually made it so you could customize a notification as an admin, and you just saw aggregate data. So we got through all the privacy stuff, created some really cool frameworks to do that. And so now we're seeing interest from a lot of corporations as they go back to the office. There's going to be variants. Every flu season, frankly,